I think I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an exciting Bisimoto Tech Tuesday on this somewhat gloomy Tuesday morning in Southern California area. I have meetings at noon, which are quite important, so I wasn't able to come on a little bit later, but thank you so much nonetheless for obliging me and being in this opportunity at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Hello, Blue Top Performance, age 22, all the way from Florida. Thank you so much for joining this Bisimoto Tech Tuesday. Speaking of Florida, we're going to get into some of the opportunities that Floridians have for winning this upcoming wagon. Thank you, Bake LBC. Appreciate you indeed. How are you? Asked Josh Wonderbread. I am doing well. A little bit chilly today. I think we have a high of 64 degrees, which may be warm to a majority of the country, but for California, it's a little bit cooler. We are anticipating rain later on today and into next week. I believe for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we'll all have some showers and some decent thunderstorms. So you're just getting ready for that nonetheless. But thank you so much for asking. Also, thank you for joining all of my friends and family here on TikTok, Instagram Live, also on YouTube Live. Thank you so much for using this opportunity to interact with us. And through your podcasting networks via Spotify, we are recording this live and direct as well. So I promised a few things today. One in particular was around this particular wagon sweepstakes, which is a bit of a giveaway that we have with Bisimoto. We came to the realization after many years that many of you do love our projects, but sometimes our projects are a little bit out of reach. So we want to make this a little bit more accessible to everyone by creating this sweepstakes. And to enter is so easy. On the website, there are rules, but just as a nutshell, if you wanted to participate into the drawing of this vehicle, which happens in May on the 5th, all you have to do is go into the Bisimoto website, pick up any item you desire, whether it's parts you need, like lubricants, clutches, JDI ghost keys, AEM components and gauges, fuel pumps, intake heat shielding gaskets from Bisimoto exhaust systems, you name it, even swag like t-shirts, hats, beanies, reservoir socks, license plate holders, any of the items you purchase on the Bisimoto web store is $1 for 100 entries. Very easy. And when the drawing is made with a third-party opportunity, one of you to win, we'll fly you down with a friend or significant other, do the unveil, have you play around with the vehicle, and we'll ship it back to you. So it's pretty cool indeed. Very simple rules. However, my main topic of discussion here today is around the components in the wagon. What makes this Bisimoto wagon so special? Now, I talked at length a long time ago around how the original Wagon van came to be, a 1.6 liter single cam, making 700 horsepower. No one even believed it at the time, thought we were either magicians or being dishonest. And then when people started replicating the same build, using the same components, they did same power, if not more, with a bigger turbo. So that was really my claim to fame when it came to wagons, making them really exciting and unique and desirable. Sold that and part that out because people kept trying to steal it because it was just that desirable, right? And I did a version 2 a few years ago. And with this version 2, it takes everything we learned from the first one and kind of amplify that. Thank you, FRR90CRX, and we are magicians indeed. Are you putting that shirt on the website as at Sell Cotton? Yes. This Bisimoto t-shirt is something you can also purchase to get entries towards winning this vehicle, and it goes up on the site in a couple of hours. So I'll make a proper announcement when it does go live, but yes, this is a first sample. I know many of you like round neck, so it'll be a round neck instead of V, and this goes on the site very much live. Thank you so much. Oh my God, says Dave Just Dave, you are streaming. Been a huge fan of yours for decades. Thanks for the kind words and also years of support as well. Senator Maryland, says Elliot Phone Home Facts. Very easy. Yes, Elliot, all you have to do is purchase online, get some entries, and if you get selected and winning, you'll go to Maryland without qualm. No problem whatsoever. Bisimoto, says Joe 3 Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining indeed. Appreciate you, appreciate your presence. Okay, so back to what makes this vehicle tick. Everything we learned from the first wagon we put into this one, instead of being front wheel drive, which I explained to you how the front wheel drive drove, because it had a 65 millimeter turbo on a 1.6 liter single cam engine, decent cams, decent compression, excellent fuel, amazing engine management solutions, all that fun stuff, It was a little bit laggy because of its small turbo and also, small engine and big turbo. So when you drove it, it would like just go and then come on like a light switch, and you'll just tires spinning. It's great, and it's so much fun because I used to give people rides over here with the car. It was so much fun. However, when it did come on with power, it spun the front wheels. So I said, okay, next one needs to be all-wheel drive, and that's what we did. So this one is an all-wheel drive setup utilizing a sequential gearbox from Quaife with a bell housing that allows this transfer case to go to the rear. The rear has something a lot more modern and compact and lighter, which instead of being from the original Wagon van, came from the newer CRV. So a 2001 CRV donated its rear differential to be able to allow it to be an all-wheel drive application. We're able to use custom mounting and be able to have the rear pumpkin set up, which is quite nice. Then, as we get into nitty-gritty of the clutch assembly from the gearbox, there's a twin disc action clutch, which works extremely well. Made it to that clutch and gearbox assembly is the power plant, the K24 Z3Z7 hybrid engine. It's a K24 of the newer generation of 2009 and up. I could stand corrected, 2012 and up. And that particular engine has two distinct advantages. First, it has intake ports that flow unlike any K-series ever designed. It flows amazingly well, better than even K24s from TSXs. Secondly, the rear opening is a single aperture, which makes turbocharging quite easily. And what we did with that aperture is we used a very efficient PRL exhaust manifold, made it to a T4 G30 billet turbo from Garrett. And that turbo, because the distance is so short from the head, it's almost like a log manifold, but a very elegant one. So it spools this G30 turbo like no tomorrow. We start building boots at 2,500 RPMs. It's amazing. So not only do we not get the lag of its D-series predecessor, we now also have the amazing air in the curve with power that spools very nicely and very quickly. Now, in the bottom end, we do have the standard K24 crank with a 60-2 wheel, which gives amazing resolution compared to the earlier Ks. However, the rods are Eagle. The pistons are for Trom 9.1 to 1 to be exact. The sleeves, factory ones were gutted out, and then Golden Eagle was able to impregnate ductile iron sleeves for that longevity and strength. You can push this engine past 1,000 horsepower if you're so inclined. You know how some people put O-ring gaskets on top of their heads to be able to allow for better seal? We did something a little bit clever, a little bit nice trick that I did in my drag racing days, where we have the sleeve proud of the deck about 3 thou. By doing that, when you bolt down with the ARP bolts, which is what this vehicle has on the top and bottom, it gives you the opportunity to have a tighter seal around the cylinders to give you impeccable reliability and sealing as well. Plus, cooling is fantastic to boot. Camshafts, we have a level 2.4 Bisimoto camshaft with some amazing valve train and titanium retainers. We have the opportunity to have a right wire harness, mil spec throughout the car. The harness is so robust, it will outlast the car. In terms of fuel pressure regulation, we have an AEM fuel pressure regulator, also with a dampening device from Radium. So I don't know if you guys understand the benefits of a pulse dampener on the fuel rail. And I'll share with you what happens. Because we have 2200 cc's on that particular wagon, which is amazing, allows us to make the power on E85 flex fuel that we desire to. Every time the injector opens, it does send a pressure wave down the large, oversized Golden Eagle fuel rail. That pulse, whenever the injection opens, just like how firing happens, 1342, 1342, it can disrupt some of the flow inside the fuel rail. So just like a factory S2000 or NSX, there is a pulse dampener that absorbs said wave propagation or said pulses, allowing you to have a consistent, better fuel mixture. That's on that wagon. You go inside the wagon itself, it has a Momo steering wheel with a horn and it's detachable, with a Momo detachable crest. Momo seats, seats from SOS, which really mimics what you would see in a Lamborghini Urus. You see that nice little diamond tuck? It's there, it's absolutely beautiful. It's controlled by an AEM Infinity, which not only has the ability to give you impeccable driving attributes, but is drive-by-wire. So yes, I don't have a throttle cable going to there. This wagon is chock full of modern technology. So drive-by-wire is there, which allows for not only less opportunities for boost leaks, because you don't have any air intake controllers or valves. You don't have any other apertures where boost can leak from. And you can also have fantastic traction control, not by using fuel cut and ignition cut, which is hard to recover from, but just by very quickly changing the aperture and movement of the throttle body itself. And it is, if my memory serves me correctly, a 78mm throttle body on that. They eliminate turbulence in the fuel rail, says New Era Pirate. You're absolutely correct. It sure does. Also, is that a Zenvo Aurora in the background? Actually, the Platinum Star, great question. That is the only Neo EP9 in North America. Here at Bisimoto Engineering, right now, you may hear a little bit of a hum in the background. I'm testing the charging system on that. That vehicle came here as an artifact, a roller, courtesy of our very good friends at Caretakers Collection. And this was brought here to take it from 1,000 horsepower that originally was to now 1,360. So it has a large drive unit in front, large drive unit in the rear, finally buttoned up. We have the wheels moving now, and I'm testing the onboard charging capability. It has the opportunity to explore 2,400 amps. So we're setting up that 2,400 amp, 48 kilowatt hour battery pack to its max. So we're playing with it right now. We'll fully charge it, then we'll deplete it, then we'll charge it back up again to make sure everything is kosher before we head it over and provide it to the client, you know? So that being said, back to the wagon. As you go into the interior, we talked about the Momo steering wheel and detachable opportunities. We talked about the right wire harness. We talked about the SOS interior. That's absolutely fantastic. We talked about the clutch assembly, the sequential gearbox, which by the way, except H pattern, you go forward and backwards to shift. It's so cool. It's like such track opportunities that you can drive around on roads. It's so amazing indeed. Axle-wise, we have very robust axles, courtesy of Insane shafts. The interior is graced by a lot of accoutrements from Fox Design. Hush Performance allowed us to upgrade the clutch assembly to something that's more modern, because that vehicle came from a cable setup. Now it's hydraulic, which is quite nice indeed. As you look at the cage, it has the ability to have a detachable kidney cage for the driver and passenger, and that was put together by ARCE. As we delve more into the vehicle itself and look at some of those very small attributes, the rear differential has clutch packs courtesy of AKD Performance on the East Coast. Fuel lines are all Brit lines with our Teflon lined as well to allow you to use any type of fuels you want. Later on, if you want to go to methanol, you can do it without problems whatsoever, you know? And it's just absolutely fantastic. So once again, forgive me for being redundant, family and friends. It's so easy to participate. All you have to do, yes, Platinum Numstar, I am giving away the wagon, is go on Bisimoto website, purchase your Go Fast parts, purchase your swag, and it gives you entries. You cannot miss it. Don't miss on this. This can be your garage. This vehicle that we built with blood, sweat, and tears can be a garage. And the team and I will cover not only transportation, but your registration as well. So you don't have to worry about putting resources on the side for taxes and all that fun stuff. We got you covered. We are amongst greatness here. NAB Visual Designs has joined us here on Instagram Live, and he is an amazing designer, a fantastic concept artist. And speaking of his artistry, this Odyssey right here, which is Type R Odyssey, he drew that up. My Bisimoto Plaid, he drew that up. The recent upcoming Baby Moby, he drew that as well. Think about some other cars. The Jeep we showed at SEMA last year, he drew that. The Rolls Royce, his concept. Model 3 and Plaid, his concept. The Prologue that I drove today, that's my daily of recent, his concept. Great guy. Nicholas, love you, love your efficiency and also your creativity. Thank you so much for being absolutely fantastic, you know? New Era Pirate said there are reasons why big fuel companies like Radium and New Performance spend money on R&D and AM dampers. More fuel requires more fuel turbulence. That's correct. The bigger the fuel injectors and the more fuel required by the engine, every time that injector valve opens, it can upset and create pulses down a fuel rail. And that could affect the next cylinder and put you in a position where you don't have consistent fueling. So that turbulence, that dampening that happens based upon waves all across the fuel rail can be eliminated by such a device from Radium. So great point. Thank you so much, New Era Pirate, for that interaction as well, you know? What kind of head gasket are you using, says Dave, just Dave. Believe it or not, factory. Factory MLS or multi-layer steel is what we use in all our applications. Luckily for us, we didn't go crazy bold with the K24. There's no need. So there's a lot of meat on the sleeves combined with a copper sprayed factory Honda multi-layer steel gasket, which gives impeccable sealing and heat transfer as well. I've never seen anything beat it. It is absolutely fantastic. Hello, King Crunk 4200. Appreciate the kind words and thank you so much for joining my Bisimoto Tech Tuesday. Mike gave me my #1 viewer badge on TikTok. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you indeed. And for those of you just joining, I'm here at the Bisimoto facility in front of a myriad of amazing vehicles. There's a factory Type R Integra here, first generation. There's a Bisimoto JDI Odyssey Type R. There's the Caretaker's Collection, crazy 13 plus horsepower all-wheel drive Neo EP9 here that's getting charged up. And we're talking about this amazing wagon that is now in a sweepstakes opportunity courtesy of Bisimoto here. The team and I decided to do this to allow you to explore all the wonderful things the wagon has to offer, and you, one of you, can win this vehicle without qualm. All you have to do is go on Bisimoto.com, buy your swag, buy your parts, and you will be good. USA only, minus New York and Florida, says FR90CRX. Canada's part of it. New York and Florida we're working on today. So hang tight. I hope to make a very good announcement to allow those people. And the challenge with New York and Florida is those two states have particular rules around sweepstakes and bonding for that. So they require a little bit extra step to make it accessible. The team and I promise you, are working on this like crazy. Hang tight. Any moment now, in addition to having this announcement on this shirt being available, you will have the opportunity to join and have a blast. Can I enter the arrival from South Africa? You can purchase from South Africa, but we are limiting this to United States and Canada at this time. The contiguous United States and Canada, I may add. Okay, hey, I have a question, says Will on TikTok. Go ahead and ask. That's why we are here. Warrior Fella says, good morning, BC man. Good morning to you as well. Appreciate you indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How did you feel about some bozo getting their grubby fingers on your art piece? Doesn't bother me at all, Platinum Star. Whether it's the old wagon or this one, I really want people to enjoy our vehicles. Now, in a perfect world, we'd all be multimillionaires and everything I build could be afforded by each and every one of you. However, we live in a real world, that's not the case. So what better way to allow our creations to get in the hands of hardcore enthusiasts? Sweepstakes is the answer. So by all means, everybody wins. You have the opportunity to get some cool items. You have the opportunity to be able to participate and possibly win this vehicle without qualm. So it's a good thing indeed. So carry on with the components on this wagon. Above and beyond the interior and the engine components, the turbocharging system has complete aluminum and steel components from Vibrant. The cooling system is courtesy of CSF radiators. And when it comes to heat exchanging, PRL also provided the wonderful air-to-air heat exchanger that sits right side, in the right place, right in the opening of the wagon itself, right in the opening right there. The suspension is courtesy of a V3 coilover setup, the best of the best with KW. We have some upgraded sway bars as well, and also a front cross-member bar to keep things in check. Custom aluminum rear components as well to allow for lightweight capability. And all of that sits on 1552 wheels with a D-Link designed rear, I don't know if you can see it here, rear turbofan. And the turbofan is not just for fancy, it's actually quite functional. If you remember the British touring of back in the day, they used rear discs to help evacuate air from the undercarriage and create downforce. So instead of having a massive wing and staying within the rules, of course, but creating an opportunity for amazing racing advantages, a turbofan existed, which as it spins, and this one is functional by the way, it pulls out air from under the car and it helps with downforce to help you with traction. And the cool thing is, if you ever after driving that car, you take the turbofans off, you'll see all these streaks of moisture going in it. It wicks away air quite efficiently. So it's good. For tax purposes, FRR 90CRX, I would say the value is 25. Now keep in mind that the engine cost me over 20 to build and the gearbox itself alone was $11,000 starting off with my discount. Not counting the labor and all that fun stuff. The engine was built here at the Bisimoto facility in my climate controlled engine building room by these two hands. And the team and I were able to put together, take care of all the fabrication and tune it on the Dynapack dynamometer, which allows me to do impeccable partial and full throttle tuning as well. Do you like the J Series engines in the Acura, says Will? I do. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm tapping right now on my J35 Odyssey. This Odyssey made 1,000 horsepower, still makes it, it's amazing. Instead of having the G30, it has a G35 billet turbocharger, courtesy of Garrett as well. 6-speed gearbox with amazing torque, and it's a blast to drive, and one of my most, if not my most popular vehicle ever designed. So yes, I'm a big fan of the Acura-based J-Series engines, whether it's from the J30 to a modern day J35. Initial Racing on TikTok says, props to BC on all your projects you have done. All of the projects you have done, things others have not. Well, thank you. As the team and I, we were talking about this morning, we love really blazing the path that most people rarely touch. We are not afraid of the unknown, whether you give us a brand new Odyssey to do crazy things with, or a classic old school minivan, or even a Neo EP9 that came to us courtesy of China via the UK, we make things happen. Everything BC builds a function over form. GOAT, says New Era Pirate. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you indeed. All right, let's see. What else could I share about the wagon? The paint. The paint on this wagon is different from the very first one. People tend to confuse them, but if you really pay attention, the first D16 wagon actually had a kind of electric blue color that was almost reminiscent of the electric blue in the earlier Mini Coopers, while this one has a nod to German performance with a Yas Marina blue color from modern day BMWs. So the blue is a little bit more pastel-y, no metallic whatsoever, very nice and clean, with a nice little orange homage, paying also tribute to the earlier V1 wagon as well. So it's quite interesting indeed, you know? Luke says, other than upgrading valve retainers and TCTs on the F20C, is there any other preventive I should use, says Luke? I'm using proper oil. Zinc is very important. So above and beyond the TCT and valve retainers, using oil with this amount of zinc is ideal. And what we use is Purol. Was Purol 5W30, 5W30, 10W40. Even the braking oil is fortified with, and that's, you know, I'm representing them right here on my hat, fortified with zinc. Zinc is very important, and the reason why a lot of oil companies don't use it because it's a very expensive additive. Earlier zinc, which dissociated very easily from the base compound, could also contaminate catalytic converters if the engine is not a great health. Luckily for us, the way that the Purol oil is scientifically formulated, the zinc does not dissociate from the base compound very easily, so it stays intact. So you don't have those issues even if you have a smoking engine. So it's really good indeed. Fantastic. King Crunk 4200 says, hi BC, hello sir. Thank you so much for joining this Bisimoto Tech Tuesday as we talk about the Bisimoto Wagon. We talk about some of the tech opportunities and the reasons behind the sweepstakes and what makes this wonderful vehicle tick. Back to the valve train and the other components in the wagon itself. I talked about 1552 wheels, and it's also wrapped around Toyo R888Rs. I like that tire because it allows me the perfect mating between performance and street drivability. And I could also track it without qualm. Of course, I love to run slicks. Like, I don't know if you can see on that Neo EP9 behind me. That car behind me has smooth tires, barely with 2 DOT grooves in it. Now in wet weather, that could be quite a handful, but at least with the R888Rs, when it's not crazy rain, it can wick away water from the road. I can still have a lot of fun on and off the track. So I love it. It's a very good all-round performance tire for street and strip. So I love that indeed. Mike became the number 4 fan in the fan club. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate your kind words. You've been just so generous to me today. And Mike sent me a heart to me. Appreciate you indeed. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you doing it. If you have not, guys, if you guys have not, don't pass up the opportunity to participate in the sweepstakes. When it's gone, it's gone. I'm not building any more wagons in the next foreseeable future. This will be the last one coming from the Bisimoto stable for a very long time, if not ever. Take advantage. When we're done, I don't care if you pick up stickers, license plate holders, t-shirts, reservoir socks, valve train, we're talking a lot about springs and retainers. We have them on the website. Exhaust manifolds, post chambers, electronics, whatever you need, it is great, you know? Elliot says his BMW computer broke. How easy is it to change the MOSFET or change the CPU? It is, the MOSFETs are difficult to do because you have to get the right type of circuitry and be able to solder it on properly. CPU is a different thing. And plus, sometimes if your computer is broken, it could be a corrupted eeprom. You may be able to reflash it and bring it back. Depends on how bad the ECU is. However, many a time, you can replace it with a blank ECU and flash it accordingly without qualm. I'm also curious about what year and model that BMW is to be able to assist you further, but very much doable indeed. All right, guys, it's been a slice of heaven. Really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm gonna go ahead and head off and get back to work on this beautiful Neo EP9. Thank you so much for the kind words, Mad Dog 782000. In the meantime, guys, don't forget about the sweepstakes. I'll have this shirt going up today that you can be able to take advantage of. I'll do plenty of messages to remind each and every one of you when it's available indeed. In the meantime, take care. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe and dry and warm. Have a pleasant one, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.